What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about the whole Bret versus Danny Christie saga. We all saw what happened yesterday. If you're not aware of what's happened, Bret versus Danny Christie, they've been having some back and forth for a while now. Danny Christie's been saying he's not happy with some things what Bret said. He's going to come down to Donny, he's going to put it on Bret. And Bret was saying, yeah, we'll come down, we'll have a fight, we'll do this, we'll do that. If you come to Donny, you won't leave Donny, and you know, and then Danny came down to Donny, and Bret was nowhere to be seen. So, if you follow my channel, you'll know I always speak highly of Bret. I always tell everyone he's not scared of Danny. He's a tough guy. He's a fighter. He's about that life. And well, he didn't turn up, so he's made me look a bit stupid now, hasn't he? But yeah, I'm going to talk about the first time I met Bret and why I say he's a fighting man, and just give my opinion on what went down yesterday. So yeah, let's get into it. So I met Bret the first time, it was ages ago. He was just a YO, so it must have been over 15 years ago. And I was in prison, and I was on the adult wing and he was on the young offenders wing. And one day I was on the server and the screw came over and he says, save an extra dinner because there's a lad coming up from the YOs, he's been starred up. And I said, what's his name? He says, it's Bret. I says, oh fucking hell, I've heard of that name. He's supposed to be a right nutter, you know, he's always fighting. And if you don't know what being starred up means, it's when there's somebody who's a young offender and they're always fighting, you can't control them, they're always in trouble, then you star them up by putting them onto the adult wing. And the thinking is, well, he's around other young offenders, so he's showing off, he's out of control, so let's put him with the big boys, put him on the adult wing and see if that calms him down. And that's what they do with Bret. And you get a name card outside your door of your cell and they write a little star on it so that you can see who've been starred up. And that's what happened to Bret. So straight away I'm thinking, okay, this guy's violent, he's about that life. And I even turned around to the lads, and I didn't know they'd already brought him up. I turned around to the lads, I said, oh, I've heard that name, Bret, lads. I said, you want to watch it? He's a bit of a nutter, this guy. And then I turned around and he was right there in front of me. I was like, whoa, are you all right, mate? I don't think he heard what I said, but he was already on the wing, and while he was on the wing, he wanted to fight his next door neighbour. He had a busted wing, probably from fighting, and if I remember right, he was in for a violent charge, and he was looking at a long time, and because he was only on the wing a couple of days, and apparently if he was looking at a long time, if the witnesses turned up, but if the witnesses didn't turn up, then there was a chance he could get out and beat the case. So he was on the wing a couple of days, and he went to court and he didn't come back. So I'm assuming the witnesses didn't turn up and he got away with it or got off with it. But that was the first time I met him. So I'm thinking, okay, this guy's a violent guy, you know, and then I didn't see him for ages, like 15 years. I'd heard his name a few times from fighting in the streets, and then he popped up on YouTube and he was on about fighting Decker, he was running up mountains, really entertaining. And I thought straight away, fucking hell, I remember him. But he wasn't, like when he came on the wing, he wasn't hench like he is now. He's a little bit smaller than me. But he wasn't big like he is now. And that's the first thing I thought, oh, fucking hell, he's got big, he's got hench. And he was on about fighting Decker, and he was saying all the right things, you know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So me thinking, well, this is the kid that got starred up in prison for being violent. You know, he's on YouTube now talking about fighting Decker. So I'm thinking this guy's about it, you know, he's not scared of no one. So that's why I was making videos saying, yeah, he's going to put it on Danny. And then yesterday, Danny says, I'm coming down to Doncaster today. And then Bret was saying, Bret says something about staying underneath cameras or something. And then Danny came to Doncaster and he was outside the racecourse. Now, when I saw that, I thought, yeah, well, you know, that's really nothing. I could go to Donny racecourse now. There's nobody there. Anyone could do that. But then he went away and he kind of won me over a little bit with Danny. And when he came back on, he was in Stainforth. And I was like, okay. Stainforth's a rough town, I know. I lived there for a couple of months. My best mates growing up were from Stainey, so I know how rough it is in Stainey. It's a rough area. And Danny's gone right into the centre of Stainforth. And I was watching, and I seen the cars pulling up, and I'm thinking, right, any minute now, Bret's going to come charging out of one of these cars. He's going to run up to Danny. He's going to pick him up and tombstone him into the into the concrete, and it never happened. And I'm thinking, oh, he's not going to show. Surely he's going to show. And then Bret did a video, and he was in a car park having his Sunday dinner, and he's always eating. It's no wonder he don't lose no weight. He eats non-stop. But he was in a car park having his Sunday dinner, and I'm thinking. And another thing that shocked me, I was surprised, was the locals. Like, they were saying he's a sausage, he's a bully. Nobody liked him, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought, I mean, say, like, if that had been me, not now, because I've ruined my reputation with being a heroin addict and a crackhead. So now, if you ask for me, they'll probably say, "Who, that crackhead?" But before all that, you know, I was well liked, I was well respected in my area. If somebody had come to Donny and said, "Oh, where's Paddy? We're looking for Paddy," they'd have probably said, "Why, he's alright, Paddy. What are you looking for him for? He's sound." But they was all saying, "Bret's a sausage, Bret's a bully." And I was shocked. I just couldn't believe it. And then Bret's making a video saying he's having his Sunday dinner, he can't fight because he's on licence. But the other day he said he fought Chris Foley and knocked him out. I don't know Chris Foley. I know a Chris Foley, but it can't have been him because he's older than me, unless it was his son. So you can't really say that he can't fight because he's on licence. But he didn't show up. And fair play to Danny. But you see, imagine if he'd have pulled up like that. You saw what happened. There was about 10 cars there in a minute. So imagine if he'd have pulled up and he was looking for someone who's well liked and well respected, he wouldn't have made it out of there. So fair play to Danny for going there. Like I say, he's won me over a little bit. And Bret didn't show up. And I can't understand it because Bret's like me. He got brought up in the prison system. So he knows there comes a point in life where you have to fight. It happened to me very early on. When I was at school, somebody said I'd burgled their house and the local gangsters came. They kidnapped me and my mate because someone said I'd done it. I didn't do it, but they took me off to this forest and they says, "Right, you come back tomorrow, you tell us who has done it," because I said I'd not done it. And they said, "Oh, we're going to smash your legs and leave you in this forest." So I'm shitting myself all night. You know, I didn't sleep, I was terrified. I knew I had to go back and say, "I don't know who's done it." And I'm thinking, I'm going to get thrashed here, I'm going to get battered. As soon as they open the door, they're going to drag me in and smash me to bits. But I had to go. I know I did. Because there comes a point where you have to fight. And I went, and I knocked on the door, and he says, "You know what?" He says, "I respect you for coming here." And I won his respect. And I didn't get thrashed. And it happened to me in prison. Everybody knows in prison, if someone comes to take something, if you let them, and you don't fight, then they're going to take everything. The last time I was on the wing and the local bullies came in and said, "Oh, have you got drugs?" I'm trying to strong arm me. I said, "I ain't got no drugs." And I had a Versace towel what I brought in with me. And one of them picked this towel up, put it over his shoulder and started walking out. And I jumped up. I said, "What are you doing?" I fucking snatched it back, you know. Because there comes a point in your life where you have to fight. And he didn't, which is just shocking to me. And see, what I would have done, I'm not a fighter, so I would never have put myself in that situation, calling people out, saying, "Come here, I'll do this, I'll do that." So I would never be in that situation. But if I was, I would have said, "Look, we're fighting in April, or whenever it is. Let's fight then. If you want to have a spar, if you come into Donny, he has to do something. So just put some gloves on, we'll have a spar, and then we'll fight properly in April." But he didn't do anything, which is not a good look. You know, everybody's making videos about him now, making fun of him. I'm not going to do that because I've got to live in Donny, and if I see him, he'll kick me head in. So yeah, that's my whole opinion on the whole thing. That's why I always back him up and say he's the real deal. Moving forward, he's going to have to earn people's respect back now. I think there's still some good fights out there, but he's got to fight, because that's the thing. If you're portraying this fighting man, then you have to fight. It's like Danny G, he's telling everyone he's rock hard, he's bit everyone's noses off, he's killed more people than cancer, and there's no evidence of any of it. There's no witnesses, it's just Danny saying it. So, you know, that's, if you're going to say you're about that life, then you have to be about that life. So yeah, he's gone from hero to zero. What in 24 hours, I haven't seen a fall off like that ever. But he's going to have to win people's respect back now. He's going to have to start fighting. There's some good fights for him. Shadow Bacon would be a good fight. They're both big names. Shadow Bacon's a bit of a pretender. So I think if he fought him, he could win some respect back. But yeah, it's all down to Bret now. He's going to have to do that. He's put himself in a position now where he's getting ridiculed online. But yeah, that's my opinion on the whole thing. Hopefully he can regroup, because he is an entertaining guy, you know, you've got to give him that. I mean, everybody was watching yesterday, everyone was buzzing, and it was brilliant. It was a good spectacle, and like I said, Danny won my respect. Not that I'm anyone, I don't mean shit. But yeah, Bret has got it all to do. He's going to have to start fighting people, he's going to have to start rebuilding now. But he's brought it on himself, so... But anyway, that's my opinion. If you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Nerf your pap.